We were created to make a difference in the lives of others. This is from my grandma's funeral. My grandpa uses this as a family mantra to ground us with a sense of purpose as we move through our lives. Coming from him, it's advice worth listening to. As a CEO back in the Midwest, he brought a lot of success to his company and always stayed admirably humble. He more importantly found success as a loving husband for over 60 years, as a father of 9 children, grandfather of 35, and now patriarch of a family of over 100. As anyone would, I hope to follow his lead of a fulfilling, happy life. And I want more people to understand how living to make a difference in the lives of others leads to that. That's why I want to share what I've been doing over the past 4 years to make a difference, and how it has already brought me to a greater personal growth and fulfillment in my life. What initially caught my interest was really self-serving. It was a challenging adventure, a 7-day bike ride from San Francisco to LA, 545 miles. As I signed up for this ride, I had an old junker bike bought off Craigslist. My longest ride to date was 20 miles, but I was determined. The other part of the challenge was each rider needed to raise $3,000 to end HIV/AIDS. Fundraising was going towards the San Francisco AIDS Foundation with the goal of reaching 0 new transmissions of HIV. Before fundraising, I was going to have to learn more. Through research and talking to friends, coworkers, I learned how the funds were helping my community. Through my fundraising, the organization provided HIV preventative medication to men at risk. San Francisco AIDS Foundation also provides support for those who have already tested positive. As I reached the fundraising requirement for the first time, I was in disbelief. I had never felt so empowered to raise so much money for a cause that I was growing to care so much about. While on the ride, I posted my stories online for people to read and encourage more donations. Through my posts online and talking to people as we rode down to LA, I was surprised how much awareness we were bringing to the cause. Such a powerful experience. Another part of that experience is the love and appreciation amongst all the writers, volunteers, and staffers. That feeling is officially called the Love Bubble. The Love Bubble inspired me to stay involved. This year will be my 4th ride. I even found other events to use as the platform to raise more money. This year, I will have raised over $13,000 towards a world without HIV/AIDS. Aside from feeling good about money I raised, my life was also enriched with a deeper sense of community. While on the ride, every night we bonded through the stories people share about the impact HIV has had on their lives. Together we mourn the tragic loss of friends, family members, and loved ones. Some people have done this ride 25 times. As a community, we grow together as we ride through the small towns where every year people hold up signs with pictures of the loved ones lost incredibly too soon. I remember looking closely at one mother's poster who lost her son when he was 27. The picture was from the 90s, and you could see she never stopped mourning the loss. Many of the stories shared on the ride describe how shame and secrecy fueled the flames that spread HIV. I am out as being gay. But do I always stay true to myself? I thought of my relationship to my own family. Sometimes there was a sense of shame about being gay. The ride inspired me to change that. I started to recognize when I was stifling myself from talking about my boyfriend or making references to gay culture. Why was that? Fear was preventing me from being myself around the people I loved. I let go of that fear, and I felt more loved and accepted. This gave me courage. I used that courage to push myself to experience the ride differently. My 3rd time doing the ride, I wanted to experience it like most people do, as part of a team. I go about things differently than most people and get anxious about sticking out when I'm not understood. So I wasn't sure how this was going to work out. I joined the team Willie Nice Guys, mostly because I liked the name and they were really nice. I knew they liked me, but I didn't feel accepted. I felt constantly judged, like I constantly had to explain myself. Halfway to LA, I may have been physically fit, but I was already emotionally exhausted. The exhaustion grew into a cloud of negativity and self-criticism that, unbeknownst to me, grew quietly within me every mile we rode. Once in LA, it was a full-fledged tornado of depression that put me in a dark, emotional freefall of self-loathing disgust. Just like a tornado, it was scary as hell, but didn't last too long. It took months of self-reflection, therapy, and the support of my boyfriend to finally make sense of it. I was feeling constantly judged because of myself. Prior to the ride, I always opted out of team activities. I started to recognize the anxiety and depression I struggled with my whole life. I also recognized that's why I previously avoided being on a team. This is how making a difference has brought me a greater sense of fulfillment. The ride encouraged me to live without shame. The greater sense of self-acceptance gave me the courage to join a team, which led me to a breakdown. In building myself back up, I discovered the self-love that it takes to be, as my friends would say, fammy, unapologetically myself, fabulous to my own standard. I've learned that for me, to always truly love myself is a skill. I still have relapses, but now I pick myself up and increasingly faster. It's now easier for me to be the most authentic version of myself and always speak my truth, which encourages those around me to do the same. Relationships with people who don't fully approve of who I am continue to fade out of my life. I have more meaningful relationships with other people who truly love and respect themselves, which reinforces me to do the same. As a result, my relationships are healthier and encourage me to lead a healthier, happier life. It's a positive, reinforcing cycle. Speaking of cycle, this brings me back to the start of the story. In short, what I experienced, and I know you will too, is that when we live to make a difference in the lives of others, we look beyond ourselves, and that inspires the personal growth from within us that leads to a happier, more fulfilling life like my grandpa's.